Hey there, Savvy Pre-Meds. I'll never forget the time that I was in a Boston metro station and I was approached by a gentleman who was trying to convince me to be pro-life. And he had a whole slew of pamphlets, and being the eager college debater that I was, I thought I could stand up to him and change his mind. And 4 to 5 trains later, and probably an hour had gone by of our conversation back and forth, and I realized that A, there was no way I was changing his mind, and B, this topic was way more complicated than I ever thought it would be. And this is the exact approach to take with ethics questions during your medical school interview. They exist because they are hard questions, and there are multiple sides to these questions that have legitimate points of view, and you're unlikely to change anybody's frame of reference. So there's 4 steps to answering tricky ethics questions. The first, understand why the question is being asked. It's being asked because it has 2 sides, and it's your job to pick a side. Number 2 would be to acknowledge that there are both sides. You would say something like, wow, that's a really difficult issue, and I understand, on the one hand, there's a right to life that fetuses possess. On the other hand, it's the mother's body, and she should have choice because her body came first, whatever the reason is. There's 2 sides to this issue. So after you acknowledge both sides, it's your job to take a principled stand. Because I believe that the mother's right to choose is first and foremost, I believe that abortion should be allowed in all circumstances. Or, because I believe that the right to life outweighs any other life, I believe that abortion should be wrong in all circumstances. It is okay to take a principled stand as long as it comes back to that principle. And so your 4th step, so step 1 is to understand why it's being asked, step 2 is to acknowledge both sides, step 3 is to take a principled stand, step 4, and this is probably the hardest one, don't budge. Don't let them knock you off the position that you've just taken. If you do, it's going to lead to another 10 to 15 minutes of discussion about an issue that frankly won't help your chances of getting in. So that's how to tackle tricky ethics questions, and practice makes perfect. So hopefully you will avoid a situation that I got myself into and won't end up missing your train because you're too stubborn.